Welcome to More Non-Dues Revenue, a podcast series where we talk with Chamber of Commerce leaders and visionaries to share their creative and innovative strategies for generating non-dues revenue. I'm your host, Ed Burzminski, President of Chamber Marketing Partners. Our guest today is Robert Goltz, CEO of the Key West Chamber of Commerce in Florida. I met Robert at the FACP conference in Jupiter a few weeks ago. That's the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. And I was struck by the bold, creative ways that he uses to generate non-dues revenue. Some of Robert's peers told me he has a knack for monetizing just about everything. So I just had to invite him to the show and share his guerrilla tactics with the rest of the chamber world. So glad you could join us, Robert.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ed. I'm excited to talk today.
So let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about your chamber and your community so we can get a feel for what kind of a community you represent, what Key West, Florida is all about.
Sure. I've been here at the Greater Key West Chamber of Commerce since April of this year. And so I've been in this position for about 6 months, but I've been in the industry for just over 22 years working with chambers. And this is my fourth large chamber that I've been working with in my career. And it's been an exciting time. And, it's been a great time over the last 20 years in developing new programs and services to help the chambers that I go to. And so that's kind of why I get hired, is really to go in and bring in new revenue streams.
So one of your non-dues revenue strategies is to monetize the chamber CEO, meaning you. Tell us why you do that and what does that look like?
Yeah, it's not just about monetizing me, it's also about monetizing all my staff. And so when I look at hiring, and I'll give you a little background on this, when I look at hiring people, I'm looking for people that want to be professionals in their career. And I think we all do. And I think CEOs are undersold a lot of time. We come in to a chamber, we typically know the most about the community that we serve. We also are very diverse in different areas of business, whether it be marketing, government relations, business building, QuickBooks for some it's using email and systems like that. And so many of us in the chamber industry, we end up adding on these educational programs. And when we add on these educational programs, we bring in our members or professionals that do that work. Well, some of our members, especially our small members, don't have the individuals to do that type of work. So what I've done over the last couple of years is that we've monetized that for staff. So for me, it may be sometimes a business comes in and says, hey, I'm brand new. I'm going to open this new business and I want to know how to market my business in this community. Okay, I'm more than willing to talk to you. Let's figure out how many hours that's going to be and let me give you a rate for that. And so what I typically do on my rate for me personally is what is my hourly rate that the chamber pays me? Because now I'm only working with one business. And so when I'm working with one business instead of the majority of them, someone has to pay that to give back to the community. So we charge whatever that going rate is. So here at Key West, I have a research development person. And we were just talking this morning. It's kind of funny. He came up and he said, hey, this realtor came to me and he wants to do some surveys and have some surveys done and asked us if we would do these surveys in the community. And I looked at him and I said, be more than happy to do those surveys, but we will charge for those. And so those are the types of things that we look at. So it's the same thing that a lot of chambers already do. A lot of chambers out there do economic development surveys of their community, and then they sell, or wage and labor surveys, and they sell those books to their members. I've just taken it one step further and said, hey, if you want to sit with me and you want my personal advice, my professional advice from a person that's lived in this community, then there's a dollar amount to be put on that. And the hard part about that is figuring out what is chamber related and what is not. So if anybody wants to talk to me about how to utilize the chamber, that's free. That's what I get paid my normal hourly to do. When I look at charging a member to do these services, it's based on is this something that the whole membership is using?
Mhm.
Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, is it just for one member specific? Then I charge. If it's something that I will use over and over again, I may not charge for that.
So the thought that comes to mind is if there's a member, a business that's a chamber member, say that does QuickBooks instruction, if somebody is looking for that, would you refer them to the member or would you
Well,
take that on yourself?
if we had a member that does QuickBook instruction, I'd refer them to the member first.
Okay.
If we don't have that, then I would go to my accounting person, my bookkeeper, and say, hey, can you train somebody on QuickBooks? Typically, what I do is say, hey, can you train our members on QuickBooks, and try to do a full training with that? Or then I'll go, hey, this person needs one-on-one training. Would you do that for them? And sometimes it's just an hour training, something quick. Sometimes it's a little bit more.
Sure. So, like, for instance, a person that wants that market research or a survey done, that's something that you have staff available, and chances are that there's not necessarily a member that might have that service. But if I understand you correctly, if there is a member who has that service, you'd refer that person to the member first, and then to internally.
We always try to refer to our members first. There are certain things that our members may not know or are very specialized. If they're looking for a general practitioner. And again, when you're looking at our costs, that's what also plays into it a little bit too. So if you're hiring somebody, a professional marketer, to do a full marketing plan for you, that's not what I do.
Mhm.
What I do is I go, hey, would you like it? If you come to me and say, hey, I want to better my business. Okay. And this is probably the number one thing I do. I'll go, okay, let me come out to your business and look around. What are you doing for advertising and things of that nature? And then what I do is I sit with that person for an hour or 2 hours and plan out what they need. Because a lot of times, and this is kind of how this started, was I would have members coming into my office every week asking me how to fix their business. And it was taking away time from me doing my chamber job. And so we talked, me and the board talked, and I said, this is what's going on. I have small businesses that are coming in. They can't afford some other people. I have the specialty that these people are coming back over and over to me again. What can we do about it? And me and the board talked candidly about it and said, you know what, Robert, we need to put a price tag on that. And I said, okay, let's put a price tag on it.
Makes sense.
And these are the rules of the game. And so we created those rules. And after that, I started doing consulting. I started saying, hey, let me come in. It's almost like for some chambers out there, they do secret shoppers. And you'll go out to the store and you'll evaluate everything. And then afterward, you'll walk back and go, hey, this is what you need help on. Same concept. So we look at certain things in that. So I do also training on personal development. It's one of the other things that is in my wheelhouse. And so with that, we'll talk. It's usually 3 or 4 sessions that we'll do about how to get them to a different level than what they currently are and what they should be doing to be considered a professional in their industry. And so that's some of the big pieces that we do. Again, it's not something I do every day. In a given year, at my last chamber, it may be something that we generate $1,000, $2,000 off of. It's not gigantic.
So it's really a small slice of your time.
It's a very small slice. And really what they're doing is they're paying back the chamber for my time that you're using above and beyond what your membership dollars should go to.
Makes sense. So I was going to ask you how you qualify who pays and who doesn't pay. And if I understood you correctly, if it's part of your chamber-related work, functions that you do as a chamber, referring people, understanding their business and what they do, connecting them with other people, that's of no charge because that's part of your responsibilities as a chamber of commerce. But is anything other that's that will benefit that business that goes over and above what the chamber does, then you'll attach a price to that. You'll attach a fee.
Yeah, if there could be a member in my organization that would charge for that service, I would charge for that service to equal it out. Because what happens is all of a sudden, some of my coaches and stuff would get upset.
Right.
Why are you doing it? Well, we're charging also. But very rarely, I don't compete with my members. If there's a member that does the same service, I would pass them on to them. Sometimes for small chambers, we do not have that. We don't have personal coaches and stuff like that. So that's something that we can make as a revenue for our organization.
Makes sense. So this kind of leads me into another question along these lines. If there are, say, several people that are approaching you for something similar, business coaching of some sort, do you do any kind of business roundtables, or do you do any kind of like seminars around that particular subject so that more people can participate?
If it's definitely something that our members really want, and we see more of them want, we'll hire to bring in for a seminar for somebody outside the area if we don't have it in our backyard. We may do little, what we call our chamber universities, which are little hour to 2 hour programs for that training. Or we'll ask our members who may be it may be the printer out there and people are having a problem figuring out what the way to construct their business card. We'll bring them in to do a seminar under our Chamber University program. So we definitely use a lot of other people in different ways. So I have some members that have picked up on this and said, oh, well, you know what? I can give guidance and I'm going to charge. Or we'll do, over the years, I've also done mastermind classes, which will last about anywhere from a month to 2 months on a particular subject. Those types of things we've done also, where we charged our members to be a part of that mastermind for a month or so.
So, okay, I want to ask you this. What are some of the more audacious ways that you've used at chambers to make money?
Oh my gosh.
Like really crazy things that even you were shocked about.
So years ago, I had businesses from my first couple chambers that used to pay me to mention them in my presentation. So at the time, I was going around speaking at state conventions and different organizations, and I would talk. So I used to get money every time I mentioned their business. So I would have a little clicker and I'd videotape myself. I have a little clicker of, I mentioned Lazy Boy Chair or M&M, whatever it was. And they would pay me $1 to $5 every time I mentioned their business, or if I incorporated it into my presentation. I've had it where when we went to the virtual aspect, on my Zoom, I would put their logo and say that I was sponsored. Anytime I was on Zoom, I was sponsored by them for my business. And so that was a gift for them.
And it was a one-time sponsorship, right? Because you weren't giving away the background.
One-time sponsorship per month. I would always put it per month. So after a month, I'd switch over and it used to say that chamber guy with my little logo and under it sponsored by whoever wanted it. And I would charge minimal. It wasn't anything major. It was like 50 to 100. I think it was like $50 a month for that. But that's $50 that I didn't have before. And so, almost anything you can do that. And in fact, I used to laugh. I used to tell my staff that if I could get away with it and get the logos tattooed on people's forehead, I would charge people and make my staff as a requirement of their job to have some kind of tattoo on their head. But almost anything is available. And that's what most of us don't understand, is that there's value in everything that we do. And so there's businesses out there that will pay for their logo to be put on doors. We see it all the time for some of these small things. My belief is everything is for sale. Everything is for sale out there. And we just have to figure out who wants those products.
And I think that's one of the challenges that maybe a lot of smaller chambers, when they don't have the value of having other people to bounce ideas off of, may not know what can be monetized and may not know how to go about monetizing it. You were talking about the mentioning the names. You were just a human pay-per-click
That's all it was.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Would
it
you
was.
say in your chamber you have a staff of 6? Did you say?
Correct.
It's including you?
Yep.
Okay. So say, are you guys meeting as a team, bouncing some of these ideas off of each other? Where are some of these ideas coming from?
For me, they come from everywhere. I think it was maybe 15 to 18 years ago, there was a big run on tattoos. And so you saw, especially in Las Vegas, you would see people that would get their whole back and their head tattooed as a sponsorship. Someone would pay them thousands of dollars to do this. I'm not that crazy because I can't get rid of a tattoo. That's a lifetime commitment. You got to pay me a lot of money for something like that.
For sure.
But to put think about how much most of us are advertising other organizations, other businesses for free. How many of you wear your Nike shirt with the nice little swoosh there? Why are you letting Nike advertise for you?
You're paying them. You're paying them to advertise.
I'm paying them to wear their stuff to advertise. I don't need that.
Right.
I make sure everything I buy is very plain. If it has a marking on it, I'm like, no, because I know I'm going to get my own sewed on it.
Now I'm covering up my shirt.
Got your alligator on? Oh, you're your little, yep.
Little Hilfiger guy.
I'd be going, I don't need to be showing off and promoting a brand for free. And so for me, that's what it is. So if I was buying this shirt for a golf outing, I'd be selling the shoulder with a logo automatically. Every time I look at an event or a program, I go, where can I put somebody's logo at? What can I make? The hardest part of that is trying to figure out who will buy it. And I truly believe someone will buy anything. You just have to keep on asking.
Well, your approach, it sounds like your approach is the approach of major brands too. Because you don't want to promote somebody else's brand. You want to promote the Chamber's brand, and more, you want to promote somebody's brand who's willing to pay you for it.
Absolutely. And this is what you do in that sales aspect. I go to XYZ Bank and say, hey, I've got this great sponsorship. And they say, no, I'm not interested. Please tell me of another bank that might be interested in purchasing this because this is designed for a bank.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What do you mean? Well, you're not the only one I'm coming to. And this is where a lot of times we limit. When the first person that says no, we say, oh, okay, it's a bad sponsorship. No, it's not. It may not be the one for them. It may be overpriced. A lot of times when I'm developing sponsorships, one of the first things that I do is I may give that sponsorship away the first year. And I give it away to somebody that's a big player in my community. So now everybody thinks, hey, the big players likes that sponsorship. I can't wait till something else opens up for me. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I'll be sitting with a member and they'll go, oh, I want to do stuff. Tell me the amount you want to spend. Tell me the amount you want to spend. Or what does your office have that I could use? So I've had sponsorships, and then this is the funny part, where I go to a small business and they don't have any money. They have barely any cash to give me. And I'll go, oh, do you have pens? Yeah, we have pens. Okay, for $100 or $50 for the next X amount of months, we will only use your pen in our office, and we will throw out every other pen in our office. And yours will be the only one that we use for that month or those 3 months. Is that worth $50 for you to have your pen in our office, knowing the amount of traffic that we get? And that's the only type of pen we're going to have here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go to every desk. We're cleaning everything out. We're throwing it all away. You do that for $50 for 6 months? Yeah. You're providing me pens, all the pens I need, and it has your logo on it. No one else is going to be here. Is that value to you? Well, yeah, it is.
That's the key question. Is that value to you? So you're, as a chamber, you're providing a vehicle, a method, a value proposition for a business that makes sense for them to give them some exposure. It's not big exposure, but exposure that meets their budget and gives them visibility.
Yeah. So one of my other big pieces that I've done for a couple of chambers out there is, on the walls of most of our businesses, we have these great quotes of leadership and all that fun junk. Well, what we do, or what I've done in the past, is I've looked at my walls and said, okay, I can put in changeable signage. And what I'll do is I'll go to a company and I'll say, we're doing a thing like the last chamber I was at was a 3C chamber through the WACE program. So they already create some really great posters. Well, we took those posters and we looked and we said, oh, there's a community one, and it has a bunch of people with T-shirts. We go to the hospital and we say, hey, can we get a picture of you guys volunteering, and you're going to pay us $500 this year to have that in a picture frame with our tagline, our logo on it, but it's going to have your people with your shirts on. Is that worth $500 for you for the amount of people that I get to come through our office? Well, yes, it is. Excellent. Let's get the picture done. Let me put it together. These are the words. I already have the words set because they've been given to me, and I load it into the system. Boom. I have a great picture now that's local, makes me look like I'm caring about my community. It's not using staged photos, and I'm making money for it. And guess what? January 1st comes around. Do you want to renew it, or do you want me to sell this to a different hospital? What? You'd sell that to a different hospital? Absolutely. You have to put time frames on things. It's not a one-time buy. That's the other thing that a lot of chambers make the mistake at. I'm going to sponsor a room, and you forget to put in the contract that it's only for a year, 2 years, or 5 years, and then you're stuck with that. I want money continually generating. So you got to price it. And sometimes it means you have to price things a little bit lower, but you're looking for longevity.
Well, it makes sense. The recurring revenue stream. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. Wow, Robert, you are just like the font of non-dues revenue knowledge. And I am fortunate and grateful that you haven't charged me to be on this program. Robert, if a chamber professional wants to get in touch with you, are you available to talk with people, and how can people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. If anybody wants to give me a call, they can call me on my cell phone. I'll give that out first. That's 908-343-1717. Or they can reach out to me right here at the chamber at robert@keywestchamber.org.
You sound like a creative genius as far as non-dues. I don't even know what else creatively. We haven't even gone there yet. Maybe we'll save that for another time. Well, Robert, thank you so much for being here and sharing your insights. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. It's a pleasure chatting with somebody who's as creative and entrepreneurial as you are. I'm Ed Burzminski for Chamber Marketing Partners. Connect with me on LinkedIn and let me help you supercharge your non-dues revenue. Stay relevant and keep on making a difference for businesses in your community. If you found value in this episode, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. The show is brought to you by Chamber Marketing Partners. Check out www.chambermarketingpartners.com to find out more. Onward and upward, and keep making progress every day.